Good morning, senior fours. Once again, I welcome you to our lesson 2, week 2 of term 2. In our previous lesson, we studied about customer data collection. We looked at methods of customer data collection. We looked at the nature of data collected from customers by businesses. We discussed factors that determine the methods to get customer feedback. So that's the summary of what we talked about last time. So in our today's lesson, we are going to focus on analyzing the importance of customer survey. We shall explain what competitor survey is, and then we shall also look at sources of competitor information. Alright, let's begin our lesson by discussing the importance of customer survey. But before we look at the importance of customer survey, let's try to remind ourselves about the meaning of customer survey. Customer survey refers to the measures of how a product and the services supplied by a company meet or surpass the customer expectations. So the different ways to determine how the product supplied by a company meets the expectations of the expected customers, or surpasses the expectations of the customers, is what we call customer survey. So what are some of the importance of customer survey? In the first place, we are going to talk about maximizing sales and profits. So understanding customers helps the business to plan targeting marketing programs so that you maximize sales and the profits. So we talked about what targeting market is. We said it's when a company chooses a given section of the population depending on different characteristics of that population. So it may depend on age, it may depend on income levels, it may depend on the level of education, on location, among others. So customer survey, when it is carried out, it enables the business to identify the target market or the target group to which they can do marketing, which can enable a firm or a business to increase sales and then maximize profits. So the next thing that we can talk about under the importance of a customer survey is retaining customers. So we looked at the methods of collecting data and the data that is collected from customers, and this is under customer survey. So if a business gets information about, say, complaints about what people want, about their prices that they wish to buy the products and the quality of products, among others, then that one can enable the business to retain its customers. So we have a saying that our customers are like water. They move where there is a slope. So the slope may be better services, better quality, among others. So it is important that the business understand its customers, their interests and needs, so that by doing so, that one can enable business to keep its customers for long. Then we have maximize customer value. Having the right data or information, as we talked about customers, it may reduce the operation costs of a certain business. For example, a business may produce what customers need most and then avoid producing products that are not needed by the customers, or which they will have to spend on a lot of money to market. Okay, let's continue. Our next points of discussion is it can help improve a product or service. So listening to your customers is the only way to guarantee you create a product or service that they want to buy. So by carrying out customer survey, you are able to know which product or services that will be bought by your clients, since you know what they want before you produce it. Moving on, we have it offers the best way to measure customer satisfaction. So measuring customer satisfaction can be done through customer survey, and by doing so, or measuring customer satisfaction, business will be able to determine whether the product or service meets or surpasses the customer expectations. The next idea we may talk about is it delivers tangible data that can be used to make better business decisions. So when a company carries out customer survey, it collects data which can be used by the company to provide or to make better decisions about its operations. Right, all along we have been looking at what we called customer surveys as our number one. So our number two is going to be competitor survey. So first of all, let us understand what competitor survey is about. In simple terms, computer survey is the process of assessing the strengths and weaknesses of both current and potential competitors. The process of assessing the strengths and weaknesses of both current and potential competitors. So let's take a note, or let's try to understand what current competitors are and who potential competitors are. First of all, current competitors, we can refer to them as existing producers or suppliers producing or dealing in the same products as your business. If you are doing business, so those people who do produce or deal in or supply exactly the same products as the ones that you produce are the ones we refer to as the current competitors. On the other hand, potential competitors, these are producers capable of distributing or producing similar products as yours at a future date. So those are might be potential businesses which are able to produce and distribute the same product as the product that you produce in the future. So those are the ones that we call potential competitors. Okay, let's move on to sources of competitor information. So we discussed earlier in our previous lessons the sources of customer survey information or data. So here we are going to look at the sources of competitor information. So a business enterprise may depend on many sources to get information about competitors or about the competition. Some of these are easy to access and others are difficult, and sometimes they may also be time consuming. So they have a question here which says that, in your opinion, why do you think it is difficult to access information from competitors? In your opinion, why do you think it is difficult to access information from competitors? That's the question that we have at hand that we have to discuss. So we may be thinking about the question as we shall discuss it during the lesson. Okay, let's continue. Sources of competitor information is classified into three major categories. We have what we call recorded data, we have what we call observable data, and there is what we call opportunistic data. So let's begin by looking at recorded data. So recorded data, this is data on competitors that has been published. So we all know the different publications that are made. For example, reports made by government, or the audit reports made by the internal auditors of the organization or by the external auditors. We have like newspapers and magazines, websites, among others. So the recorded data is that data that has been published. So it can either be published internally in the organization or externally by other agencies or organizations which relate with the government, with the organization or business, or by government. So the examples that you may talk about in the internal publications, we have what we call annual reports or by the outside body like government. We may have newspapers, magazines, government reports or presentations and speeches, among others. Then there is the observable data. So this is data collected through observing competitors' activity. So this is done by the organization or by the business which is carrying out a competitor survey. This include product launches, analyzing competitor marketing mix strategy, service offerings, price or pricing lists, tenders, advertising campaigns, patent applications, promotions, among others. So we remember very well what we talked about to marketing mix in term 1. So the different ways through which a business makes its product known to the public and attracts the public to buy it. That's the one that we call the marketing mix strategies. Then there is the opportunistic data. So this type of data is collected through talking to entities that have had contact with the competitors, such as their suppliers, their customers, shared distributors, and their former or current employees. So some businesses take this step even far and employ employees who have worked for the competitors. So that type of information, we call it opportunistic data. So ideally this is about getting information from individuals or entities which have had direct contact with the competitors or with the competitor. Alright, so let's continue by looking at identifying competitors. So competitors in the market are not the same, and then to analyze them you have to know them first of all. So we are going to look at the various categories of competitors that one can analyze. So they are classified into 4 classifications or categories, as you are going to see. First of all, there is what we call direct competitors. Then there is the indirect competitors, we have actual competitors, and we have future competitors or potential competitors. Let's begin by looking at what we call the direct competitors. So these are businesses that produce and sell identical or similar products or services. This means customers can easily switch from one product or your product to theirs because the products are similar. So these provide almost the same products, so customers can switch, or they can either buy if you are a seller, your product or the product of the others, because they produce, and rather they get the same satisfaction when they consume those products, or they provide exactly the same services. So if they don't buy from your competitors, they buy from you, or if they don't buy from you, they buy from the competitors. You have an example here, starting a hotel, then other hotels in the neighborhood providing similar services referred to as direct competitors because you give the same service. Then you have an indirect competitor or indirect competitors. These are businesses that produce products and services that are close substitutes. So close substitute products are products which serve the same purpose. Like you can take examples of, say, the different types of toothpaste. So the different types of toothpaste can be like Whitedent and Colgate. Those two are perfect substitutes. So one may choose to use Colgate and another one chooses to use white dent. So those compete, but indirectly. Though they are not the same, but they serve the same purpose. Those are substitute items. So these target the same customers with a product or service that provides an alternative level of satisfaction. So that is another category of competitors. Then we have what we call actual competitors, as we saw. So actual competitors are those businesses that are already in existence and already producing goods and services. The actual competitors, remember we said we have what we call the potential and the actual. So the actual ones, they are the ones that are existing and are producing goods and services which compete with the products that another business is producing. Then the future competitors or the potential competitors are businesses that are not yet in the same marketplace as the one you intend to be, or the one you are already in. So those are future competitors, those ones which are likely to produce products in the future which compete with the ones which are in existence.